Welcome to Desert Island Tim's. My guest today is a blogger whose stories can seem dark but also funny. Kevin McCallum, who's also known as Oldpesky, can be found in Blogspot under the title Pesky Tales. Kevin McCallum, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Billy, and it's really good to be here as well, to finally see where the magic happens. And I can see it's a land of wonder that we've got here, so I'm delighted to be here. Obviously an early start for me, 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm not used to starting work till about 3 o'clock, so...
What was it like growing up?
I was born in '66, which obviously I can't remember. My earliest memories come from about 1970 or so. The first house that we did stay in, but I can remember it was with the old aluminium prefabs, which, although I can't remember what it looked like up, I can remember what it looked like once it'd been demolished. Because we'd moved around the corner into these new housing scheme, but my granny still stayed next door. I can remember going back, I must have been 3 or 4, and I've tried to get into the knockdown house, and I've split my head open on a window which was a bit of glass that was there. So that was my first trip up to casualty up in Vera Leaven Hospital. And it was great to have a hospital just up the road because it became a popular haunt. I've got something wrong with it, oh, let's go to the hospital. So I've got many stitches and they've all came from there. So that was the sort of earliest memories of Tullyhune, is where we stay, a house in the estate, which is right next to Balloch. Right. Tullyhune's at the last house in scheme you'll pass before you get to Stoneymull roundabout, and then it's the Highlands after that. So I used to call it, this is the end of civilization, because it's just mountains and chuchters and sheep. It's all past that road. Now I've since been further up that road and seen places like Fort William, and I think, yeah, there is people that stay up here. But see, the time when I was younger, I used to think that Ben Lomond was the north of Scotland. I thought that was as far as beyond that, nothing. That panoramic view that you get if you're coming from Glasgow and you're on the 82 and you come to Balloch, you just pass it and then it all opens up and you've got the loch down there and you've got the Ben Lomond, the two shoulders and the top, just staring at you majestically. And I thought, that's the view that I've grown up with, and I've just moved back to the Vale. Alright, every day I look to see, even if I'm just driving, when we're driving home, it's framed on the road, Ben Lomond, just before I cut up into where we stay, and I think, that's home, right? I've been away there for 13 years. It was just last year that I've moved back. But we see ourselves more as town folk rather than country folk, because we're schemies. That's where we've came from. And I can remember standing on the chair in my granny's, pulling the net curtain back, she'd put the curtain, and I'm waving to my brother, going to school. Yeah, I can't remember much else about that era, but I can't remember much about my parents. As I look back on it, it's kind of a sign of how much of an influence that he had on my life, even though at times I used to hate him. But a lot of the memories when I started thinking back, and a lot of them involve him, even though we never really got on at that time.
You were speaking there about your parents. Did you lose your parents at a young age?
Not too young, no. Well, I lost my dad when I was 16, and my mother just died in 2007 there, and my brother died in 2011. So I'm now the oldest one left in the family. I've got a younger brother, he's 9 years younger than me. Nobody sort of on my dad's side of the family, the males, reached 50. My brother got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and weeks to live when he was 46. He held on till he was 49, so as I say, I kept saying to him as he was hanging on there, keep going now, you need to get the batting average up. No, try and get to the 50, but he never got there. So now that I'm 46 myself, I'm thinking, right, if my dad went at 47, I've got a year to go. I need to make my mark here. I need to get words out here, just hence the writing again, and just to leave some sort of, this is who I was on this planet. Just a chancer. One of the other earliest memories I've got, and again it comes from my brother, and it was just down near the Christie Park, and it was the first time I heard this sentence, and it was a sentence that was probably going to come loose. And there was a tractor again. I was about 3 or 4. I was there with my brother and older people who stayed in the street. There was this tractor, and I can imagine a 4-year-old, and it was way back, obviously 70s, and I think it was one of the old blue police vans. Yeah. And that was the first time I'd heard, there's the police! Run! So I've ran, and I have ran, tears are streaming down me, and I'm screaming, it wasn't me! It wasn't me! And I peed myself, right, as well, like you do that your own way. Not that I've got a chance to forget it, because one of the guys that I grew up with, and he used to remind me all the way through my life, remember that day? It wasn't me! It wasn't me! Right. If I was maybe trying to chat up with the girls now, Like, to tell you about the time he peed himself. And you're like, for fuck's sake, no. This is later on, you're going to the pub in the 80s, I'm trying to look like Don Johnson and that. No, I'm trying to look cool, and he's staggering. I say, tell you about the time he peed himself. No. I'm thinking, oh, it wasn't me. So that's one of the real early childhood memories.
And your first choice of song is?
Well, that takes me back also to that era. It was at a time, and we were talking at the New Year parties and what, and everybody would do a turn. And to be honest, I had to do a turn myself. And I couldn't possibly have picked that song if I wasn't up playing the accordion, because I had to play the accordion at the time. Get up here with the jammies on, give us a tune. But my first sort of record was Jimmy Osmond, Long-Haired Lover from Liverpool. And I used to know every word. Sing your Jimmy Osmond song, and I'm a long-haired lover from Liverpool. So I couldn't possibly have picked that song as in the first song, but what song does take me back to that era is, and it's not a song that I listen to greatly or anything, but it reminds me of my mother, because that was her song, and it was Ruby Murray, How Can You Buy Killarney?
That was Ruby Murray, How Do You Buy Killarney? Who were your influences and heroes?
My hero is still Kenny Dalglish. Every year I would get the Celtic top for my Christmas, and my hair, when I look back at the old pictures, I've always just got that Kenny Dalglish fringe. I want to look like Kenny Dalglish. And if I'm doing the park, I'm thinking, Kenny Dalglish. In the 1973 Scottish Cup final, and he scored that first goal, right? And he ran away with his hands up, that boyish smile. To me, that epitomised everything about what I loved about Celtic and what I loved about football. Just the sheer joy at scoring for Celtic, or even scoring. Now, it broke my heart when he was going to Liverpool. I'd watched Liverpool win the European Cup against Borussia Mönchengladbach that same year, and I thought, well, at least he's going to a good team, but it was Dalglish. He was leaving Celtic, and at the time, it's hard to understand. Celtic were on the way down in Europe. The glory years had passed, and with selling Dalglish, it was a sort of admission that that's the way it's going to be. And to be honest, we'd never done anything much in Europe since then. Well, we've not won anything. We got to the UEFA Cup final. We've had a couple of great nights, beating Real Madrid in 1980, Ajax in Amsterdam and Charlie Nicholas. And it was only when Charlie Nicholas broke through that he became my new hero. So I was starting to go to the games myself at the same time as Charlie had broke into the team, and I remember he scored something like in 12, 13, 14 games in a row for his debut, and then he scored the next game. And you were going, not only to see the Celtic, but we've got this young boy here who seemed to be scoring every week, and it wasn't just scoring goals, it was entertaining, it was nutmegging people, it was flicks. He'd replaced Dalglish. But for us, Charlie Nicholas, although he's much pilloried now for his punditry because he struggles to string a sentence together and makes up words, which I think is quite funny, don't get me wrong. But what people don't know is he scored 50 goals in a season, and during that period of time he was absolutely one of the best players in the world, if not just Scotland, without a shadow of a doubt. And so I'd say they were my two biggest heroes anyway. And although they're both Celtic players, that's just indicative of what my interests were. I suppose one of my other influences would have been Roy Race. I first discovered him when I bought Tiger comic, and I thought, my God, where have I been? So that was me hooked on, like Billy's Boots, Martin's Marvellous Mary, Hot Shot Hamish. Then Roy the Rovers was a spin-off from it, and I thought, phew. So even the time I was playing under 10s, Fitba, and I'd come up the road, the Geordie Greys, the old newsagents, I'd have my comics ordered. I'd come in for my Callum's comics, please. my Roy the Rovers, my Tiger, and then Scoop came out as well, which was another one, and that was one of the first ones to do sort of computer football. They would feed information into computers and come up with imaginary results and games, and I thought, everybody's doing it in their home now, but that was a big thing. So everything I read was just football.
Right, your second song?
It was my son that introduced me to this band, and it was my son that introduced me to this song. And when I first heard it, I thought about it of my own father, and I thought that's uncanny, that, because that's kind of on the ball. And at the time as well, I'm in my early 40s, and there's a line that I think that could be my son talking about me, and it sort of hit me. And I remember listening to it one night myself, and I had a tear in my eye. It was just sort of poignant, and I thought, and it reminded me of how much of my life I'd wasted during the wilderness years, we'll call them. So that's why I've picked this song, and it's from a Glasgow band, and they sing in a good Glasgow accent, and it's Las Vegas singing Daddy's Gone.
That was Daddy's Gone by Las Vegas. What are your earliest memories of going to Celtic Park?
It was the Scottish Cup semi-final in 1973, and that was at Hampden. People think Hampden was a dump, but it was a dump that had world records for attendances. Obviously I had that OCD for me coming out. I knew all these world records, who played where and where. So I was at this game, and it was Tommy Gemmell was the manager of Dundee at that time too. I remember that. The first half passed, and it was nothing each. There was not really anything happening. And then Jimmy Johnston's got the ball in the wing. Now, at this time I'm 6 years old, right? And I see Jimmy Johnston, he's got the ball, and he starts playing keepy-uppy with it. And I just go mental. I scream. My dad, he would still be drinking at the time too. Dad! Look at Jimmy! He's keepy-uppy! He's turning around and saying to me, that's because the half-time whistles went, son. And you've heard all these people all around about me all pissing themselves laughing at me, right? And I'm thinking, even back then I'd heard that Jim Baxter played keepy up, and I thought, Jimmy Johnston, keepy uppy. So that's one of the earliest memories of actually being the game. But although I never made the final of that game, I can remember the 73 Centenary Cup final as if it was yesterday. And I say, Dalglish scored that first goal. Rangers then went 2-1 up, we equalised, and then Tom Forsyth scored that classic 1-incher when the ball hit the line, rolled along the line, hit the other post, and he still managed to nearly miss it, but just got it in wee studs. And that sticks out as the first time that I'd actually even heard of Rangers, really, because until then I was too young. It was just, I'm into Celtic. Celtic won everything, and I didn't really know anything about Rangers. So that was the first time I'd seen Rangers beat Celtic. And I thought, no way, it's Rangers that beat Celtic. And I went down the front of the scheme, and I was playing my ball with my strip on, and this guy who I knew along with Rangers strip on, drunk, and asked me, oh wee man, what was the score? Naive. Oh, it was 3-2, mister. Hey, oh, Rangers. He's like, ha, you wee fiend. I was just shocked. I was 78, I think, was the first game that I went to myself and my pals, and it was like a Scottish League Cup quarter-final, second leg, I think it was, against Aberdeen. Right. And one of the things that stood out for me is, I can't remember who nearly scored. I think it was Johnny Doyle that nearly scored. Bobby Clark was still in goals for Aberdeen, who was unbeatable at the time, I thought. But he's beat him, and it's hit Bobby Lennox, and Bobby Lennox has kind of cleared it off the line and stopped again in. And we went out that day, right? And I had a friend with me that day. It was all much older, and there were two boys that were much older than me, and one of them was an Aberdeen supporter. And I remember we're walking out the ground. It's dark, it's November, it's middle of autumn, and he had his Aberdeen scarf on. I'm 78, so I'm 11 I think at the time, and this wee boy who's younger than me, he's come walking along, his pals is like, Aberdeen, he's just spat on my mate. It was about twice the age of his, and my mate, I'm like, jeez, so that was my introduction to going to Celtic Park myself, rather than with my dad either on a supporters bus in the comfort or the thing. So we're walking about the mean streets at the East End of Glasgow, and there's this wee boy spitting on my big mate who's just the oldest one. I'm thinking, he's meant to be looking there. That's the last thing my mum says, you keep an eye on him. There's a wee boy spitting on him, thinking he's shiting himself. I'm shiting myself. But after that, the thing that used to, because I'd go on the train, we walked through Belgrove, and it was that buzz. See, as soon as you hit Jane Field Street, it's a lot changed now, but there was still all the houses and that there, and you're walking through a housing scheme, which was pretty run down, even though lots of them are. But when you walk along there, you come towards the ground, and your heart would lift when you seen that the big BBC lorries were there, and you thought, dancer, games on the night, because sports scene would have been on the telly on a Saturday night. If you'd walk around, you're like, oh, no cameras, and people don't understand it because you get to see everything now. Right. Back then, if you weren't there, you never seen it. If you wanted to see the Magic Happen, you had to go to the game. Right. And back at this time as well, the average attendances was about 24,000. When the average attendance been pulled up, it was usually about 18,000. The average had just pulled up for the Rangers games and the Aberdeen games. Right. Would have been the big games of the day. I recently wrote about Bring Back the Jungle because it was the standing area for people sang. I remember it winning, it was a League Cup tie again, early 80s. I think we were playing Forfar. I think the official attendance for the ground was something like 8,000. And at that game, you could literally sit down in the jungle and watch the game. But it was like August, it was still sunny, it was a lovely night, there's hardly anybody there, and we're playing a rubbish team. And I'm not sure, but I think Stuart Kennedy, the ex-Rangers goalkeeper, was in goals for Forfar at the time. He used to have the big sideburn away, and we had a team like Alan McAnally, who everybody loved, big Rambo, and he took it round the goalkeeper, hit it to goals, ran towards the jungle, hands up in the air. What do you think, lads? Celebrating. And the ball went by the post, and the place just erupted in uproar, just laughing. Whoever wasn't sitting down at the time was now rolling about the ground because the place was just in an uproar. It's just, you see the way McAnally is on Sky Sports, he's a big whoa. It was just one of the funniest things that I've seen at Celtic Park. And again, no TV cameras there, and they've just seen it apart from the people that were there and enjoyed that moment of humour at Celtic Park.
Your third song?
I first heard this song just on an advert for the album, funnily enough, and I thought, I like that song. Who sings that? And I had trouble pronouncing the name of the singer when I found out who it was, but I bought the album anyway and went to see him. But as soon as I heard the song, I thought, you know what, that'd be perfect for a ringtone for my brother. Whenever my brother phoned, my older brother that is, you knew it wasn't good news. He was never phoning you up to say, alright Kevin, how are you getting on today? How was work? Just phoning up for a chat. When the phone went and you seen his name come up, your heart would sort of miss a beat. I need you to go and do this for me. I need you to come and get me. I'm in such and such a place, and can you bring me a fresh set of clothes? And you'd say no, and then my mum would phone 5 minutes later. Jerry's just off the phone, says you'll no go and pick him up. Looking in my bed, it's 3 a.m. Oh, Kevin, please go and get him because I'm worried sick about him and that. So the song, and it kind of sums up his life, the start to finish. When he was born, he'd stopped breathing, and so he'd officially died. He'd got the last rites and all that, and then he got resuscitated. If I kept saying to him later on in life, I'm thinking, you must have got some sort of brain damage during that spell because you're mental. Right? And we talk about Gaza and that. It was a bit in that mould, just really hyper, always up to no good. It's a pity he never had the skills of Gaza as a football player. And I remember him once going back. He used to go on a lot of holidays himself because he could afford it, and he came back and says, I got a Gaza letter off British Airways. I was like, what's a Gaza letter? He's like, on the way out, I got that drunk that they were refusing to fly me back unless I signed this letter to say that I wasn't allowed to have any alcohol on the plane. And he was all chuffed. It's a Gaza letter, that's what we're called. I thought, and that sort of pattern continued all through. And one of the, again, going back to the early memories thing, and this, I was reminded of this story last week when the Boston bomber was getting hunted down, and I sat up late. I thought, I'll just see what's going on. I've got BBC News 24 running constantly on my telly if I'm not watching anything, and I'm on the computer. I'm just taking in news junkie sort of person. So I hear that there's a chase on, they've got him cornered. So I'm on Twitter, I find a link, and I get a link to the police scanner, and I start listening to the police scanner, the whole thing going down, and I hear him getting arrested on it. I thought that was quite exciting, and it took me back to my first story that I ever heard when you used to tune into the AM radio and listen to the police. And again, my wee brother had just been born, so it's about 75, 76, so I'm about 9, 10, and my Uncle John was in babysitting for me because my mum and dad were away out that night for a rare night out. So he's tuning into the police, and we're hearing it the way it used to be. There's an incident down at Drumkinnon Bay, You hear it unfolding, and it turns out there's these boys who'd been breaking into cars. Somebody had phoned the police have turned up on numbers, and they're in hot pursuit on foot. And we're listening to this chase going on. We're thinking, I'm fascinated, this is brilliant, this is better than Z cars on the telly. So this goes on for about 10-15 minutes, and then they get somebody, and the first person they got, and we heard the name coming across the radio, it's Jerry McCallum, and I thought, that's my brother. So I'd heard my brother getting arrested live on radio. And at that time he was about 14, and that was the start of it, and it continued all the way through near enough to the end. So the song is Ray LaMontagne, Trouble.
What irritates you?
Not much irritates me, really, because I've been through a lot, so I find it hard. I'm on some sort of even keel now, but I used to be sort of hot-tempered and what have you. But I get through all the sectarian thing when I was younger. I went to Catholic primary school, a Catholic secondary school for the first 2 years, and then I had an incident at school at the start of third year, which was 1980, and this is just after the Celtic Rangers Riots Cup final. And I had went from being, you didn't need to worry about me because I was a grade A student getting all A's, a couple of B's. If I got a B, it was a sort of and that was the way it was. And then I had a younger brother had to come along now, so I was kind of stuck in the middle. I think And he thought I didn't need any because I'd come through always sort of type of class doing things, no worry, wasn't getting into any trouble or anything like that. And then I had an incident at school, and I was laughing in class, and this teacher's like, stop that laughing, and I'm thinking, you're right, I'll need to stop that laughing. And he starts doing this thing again, and I start laughing again. He's like, I tell you stop that laughing. I was like, I know, right, you're right, I'll stop it, and that, right. And I start laughing again, so he then grabs me, pushes me up against the desk, and pointing his finger at me, and that, giving me, worth warning you one more time, boy, right. And my big pal, who I still communicate now, but he's now in Canada, and he's a prison officer now, which is great, because we always thought he would be a prisoner. But now he's over there as a big tough Scottish prison officer, and he's a big huge lad, so he was standing behind the teacher making faces on it. So I laughed in the teacher's face, and he's like, right, that's it, you're getting the belt. No, it's like, I'm not getting the belt for that, I'm not taking the belt for that. No, and he's like, don't you speak to me like that, boy, this kind of whole master servant attitude. So he drags me out by the scruff of the neck, really, right, and takes me round to the headmaster's office and that. Right, belt. He's like, yeah, gives the belt. I was like, I'm not taking the belt. Oh, and I started to go all uptight and no chance, I'm not taking the belt for, I've had the belt for others, but I'm not taking the belt for this, and I'm not, look at the mountain you're making of this molehill. So I stormed away from him. I'm not going back to that school. So things ensued, and I had to go back to take the belt, otherwise I was getting sent to a List D school. And we're thinking, me being sent to a List D school? I'm the angel of the family, the one that's been held up even as a sort of beacon to my brother. How can you not be more like Kevin? Because he was obviously a rascal. Well, I took the huff, and I said, I'm not going back to that school. And they wouldn't let me leave the school unless I went back and took the belt after them. So I had to go back to it, right, to get myself unexpelled kind of thing, unsuspended. So I went in and I took the belt, and I took the belt, went to my last class, and I mind saying to the teacher, right, I'm leaving. He's like, you're not leaving early. I was like, no, I'm leaving this whole school. I'm not leaving. So all of a sudden, this chip on my shoulder, and I went to the academy, which I knew some people there anyway, but let's not be fooled, it's a non-denominational school, but back then it's a proddy school, and if you're a Catholic Celtic supporter going to a proddy school, and people would know he's just came from St Pat's, because people knew me anyway, so I had to put up with people trying to bully me. And I thought, I can't have this, no, because it was a culture shock. Or these other people I didn't know, older boys, not you're getting it. Right, you're getting it. And I remember being doing Balloch one night, and these boys for the rent and Haldon, a couple of our schemes ganged up and that, and say, you're getting it. A couple of boys like, just leave him, but he's like, I'm going to see you in school on Monday. So this is the Saturday night. I thought, right, Monday, I'm going to have to do something on Monday. So I went in on Monday, and I'm wearing my denim jacket and my jeans and what have you, and I went into where he was with all his buddies and that, and walked in amongst them, and he still wanted to see me and that. Just looked at me, no, just like, hi, now you mentioned it, I did, because he couldn't back down, because there's this people who come round here like chinning him in front of all his mates. And what I had actually done, I'd get my Doug's leash, and I've just pulled it out, hit him where he'd do it, and he's squealed, and he's turned, and he's ran, and I've ran after him, hitting him with it, where basically the whole school then running after that. So I've literally chased him through the rugby parks, right down through the football parks, right out to near off down the bottom, down to the leaving, until he's just ran away home, right? And for that day on, I never get bullied at that school anymore, right? So my mates, they could still call me a wee fiend, but they just sort of, and then I thought, because he must be mental, he must have got expelled for St Pat's, he must be, and he's just done that, better stay away from him, because he'll do things to you. And to be honest, I went from being that grade A student to having a huge chip on my shoulder.
Your next song, what made you pick this?
I've picked this song again. It was my son that mentioned this band to me. The singer of this band, and most people only know him for being a drug addict, and that's all you ever hear about him in the paper is, I get caught with this possession. Of course, he's a problem, he's walking about, he's always going to have a bit on him. If I was a police, I would arrest him, because you know you're going to get a result. And nobody really knows his music. I don't know anybody, apart from me, my boy, and a couple of his pals, that have actually went to trouble and listened to them. The first song I heard from one was Can't Stand Me Now, and it was him and Carol Barat singing it to one another, and I thought the honesty in that, because they have had this big fallout, and the words that they're singing there is about him being on the brown. And I thought, I've never been on the brown myself, don't get me wrong, but it reminded me of my own kind of fallout with my friends when I was on the white kind of thing, and I lost all my pals because I went that way. And there was a time in my life where I'd be walking about and I looked like your junkie on the street, and people would judge me because of how I looked. Some older pals might have judged me because I used to be alright, but look at the state I'm now. And it's true, I was in a really dark place, and it was the choices that I made that got me there. There's nobody else that used to blame other people. It's not my fault, it was you gave me that. But you come to a point when you hit rock bottom, right, that you keep thinking you've hit rock bottom, and then you realise that you've still got a bit to go, and then you eventually do hit your rock bottom, and it's a sad, kind of lonely place. But I was sort of socially excluded for everything for life for about a year and a half. I kind of shut myself away. I used to think I'd been better off getting caught stealing stuff and been in jail. At least I had some company. Right? Life was going on. You found out the world was going on without you, whereas in the past, before, because of the job I used to have, and then what I did, the world sort of revolved around about me. And I realised that nobody was kind of interested, apart from my mother, who would phone me. So when I hear this song, which is not the song I was talking about, this is my favourite song for the Libertines, and it's just a mellow song. Got it as a ringtone on my phone, all these things, and it makes me think of what I was back then and where I am now. This is back 10 years, right enough. It's not last week. I've just poked myself out some sort of rehab place. So this song, and people might hate Pete Doherty, but it's the Libertines and it's music when the lights go out.
How do you relax?
I started reading again in about 2002, and I would just lose myself in a book. I'd always been one for comics and then magazines and non-fiction books. I was always one for learning stuff, and then there was the years when I fell away from that. Busy working, busy doing other things at night, which were no for relaxing. And when I had my own drug issues back in the early part of the 21st century, I found that reading was the thing to help me relax, and it stuck with me again. And now I'm addicted to buying books. I've went for classes to Amazon, and whether it's fiction or it's usually fiction, right? I read now. I've read what I've read about other Celtic books back in the past history. I know I've forgot a lot of them, and I've bought a lot of them again. When they're just sitting there, I'm still so relaxing. It's just reading books and reading, and for now it's Twitter and things as well. So although it's quite stimulating to follow new stories breaking, but I see that as a form of relaxation. And I take the dog a walk around the park now. The dog has been a great calming thing, gets me out, and I love, like I say, walking around Balloch Park, taking pictures of the Luss Hills, Ben Lomond, Loch Lomond. I love just taking pictures every day. I go up to the same spots and stuff and sort of comparing the seasons.
Your next song?
Next song takes me back to 2003. Was a sort of a big year in many ways. Obviously Celtic reached the UEFA Cup final, and I've great memories of that run. I was never at any of the games, but I remember I was at the Alps when Celtic were playing Liverpool, the second leg. So I watched that in a sort of a bar full of English people, and that was just one of the greatest nights of my life. Obviously beating Liverpool and going through was great, but to be in amongst just a load of English people who were off, and I was a drunken Scotsman giving it what I would be giving it. Back in the day, I thought that was tremendous. So on that run to that, so that took us obviously to the final, and lots of people have got great memories of the UEFA Cup final and the running. So admittedly the result didn't go away to plan, but for me and for closest friend and a couple of others, my younger brother, it's always going to be remembered for one thing, and that was we watched the game in a house with another friend, and there was an incident, and my friend phoned his younger brother to come in and sort it out. And Andy came in. He wasn't into drugs or anything like that such, but he was a drinker, and he obviously had his own issues, but we didn't know at the time just how great these issues were. Unrelated to what was going on in the football that night, the result had been, because this was about 2-3 hours after it, and Andy had came and he was spilling his beans to his brother, and I was saying to him, look, just let him go. He said, if I fancy to go, let him go. Right, God, come on in here, we'll sit and have an wee drink and a wee joint, we'll let him go. And that was the last we seen Andy, because he left my house and walked up to the Erskine Bridge and jumped off it. That's the last I seen Andy. The next Colin seen Andy when we took him up to the morgue in Glasgow to go and identify the body. It was not long after that I chucked absolutely everything, which it wasn't actually related, and after that I did have a few major binges on the pipe, but it was no long after that. Seen the film Trainspotting, when you get that scene and Renton says, that's it Swanee, I'm off the skag, I've just decided. It really was kind of like that. I've just decided, and for that day I never touched it, right? So that's now, we're talking 10 years ago. In fact, it's near enough to 10-year anniversary. I was hoping to write a wee something about Andy, but I've not managed to get there. So this song is kind of to him for a start, but also to my own daughter, because of my troubles with drugs. We kind of drifted apart, and although I still see my son, I don't have a relationship with my daughter at all. I've seen her about a couple of times when my mother was dying, but then she decided it was still a bit too, and so I don't see her at all, and yet she stays about a mile away. She'll be 23 next couple of months. So this song is for the two of them, also for my brother who's lost a couple of years ago. My parents there, and also somebody else alive, my younger brother who's down in London, who I don't really hear from that much. And because we're lost now, this family, I'm getting that odd nostalgic way that I want family closer now than what I ever did. And so this song is going out to them, and it's Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here.
That was Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. What got you into writing?
What actually happened when I after I sort of stopped taking everything and realised, look, I need to try and get up off my arse and do something in my life here again, because I hadn't just been here typical. I've sort of got a first class honours degree, I had years of management experience, flying up and down the country, and I went for that to being a drug addict and living an alternative lifestyle, doing the rehab thing and what have you, but still relapsing, what have you. And then I decided just want to try and write, and I sent away first of all to do the Writers Bureau course, which I've still got. I did one assignment, I thought I'm not really hard to do that, so I went to a creative writing class at Strathclyde Uni in 2003. I joined up for that, and again that first night was kind of weird because there's people all standing in there. I was sitting up doing an introduction about what they'd done, and they were all professional people and they all came from a well-to-do background, and I'm sitting there thinking I remember that first time, a couple of them were being lawyers, and the guy next to me went, yes, I work for such and such law firm, but I'm afraid I don't have any courtroom stories to tell. And I'm like, right, here we go, it's me. I'm no, you're watching it come round, it's me to go. I'm thinking, oh God, and at the time I had absolutely no confidence whatsoever. I was really nervous. So I've said, well, I'm not a lawyer myself, but my wee brother is a lawyer, my older brother's a crick, so I've got lots of courtroom stories to tell. So and my name's Kevin. And that got me started. I realised that, and I remember the first story that I wrote for that, it was about a wee boy. He was going to visit Loch Lomond. His mother was in a home, but that was the day I remembered. He'd been sent into a home, but that's the last day he spent with his mother was a day at Loch Lomond, and all the joys of being a wee boy at Loch Lomond. And it was really well received, and that people wrote, and I thought, maybe I'm quite good at this. But at the time I'm still looking at it, and again I was rough around the edges. People were all handing their work in, all neatly typed and formatted. I handed mine in, a 2,000 word piece or whatever it was, handwritten, and we had to give a copy to everybody, so I had to get the tutor to photocopy it to give them, and they've all got photocopies of this lined paper with my scribbly handwriting and all scored it, and yet the story turned out to have some worth. I thought, right, I fell from cocaine straight into writing, and that became my new addiction. And I devoted all my time to it, going to classes, reading, writing, and that became my obsession for the next couple of years. But I felt I'd kind of stalled in the progress. I was coming from a starting point of zero, and I'd made some leaps, then plateaued, then leaped, and then I thought I'd lost a bit of interest. But what it did remind me of, and it gave me hope, and I'd forgotten all about this story, is even though I'd went off the rails at the second school I went to, I still sat my English higher, and one of the things that you had to write in your English higher, you had to write an essay. And I wrote about a year in my life in that essay, and it was about a year I'd started to take drugs, and I wrote about all my experiences in that year, which resulted in a letter sent home to my parents. Your son's on drugs. Oh, I had to tell my dad. I got everything to a Reader's Digest book. That was from memory, and they believed that. And I thought, good. But I also said to them, well, it must have been well written, because I passed. Right, so as much as they might not like the content, it must have been a well written story, so obviously there was a bit of talent there even back then. And here we are many years later, and most of the things that I write about, if it's not on the blog about Fitba, is about drugs. It's about scheme life, it's about gang stuff, crime, domestic abuse, right, cheery topics, but in a sort of black, dark humour way. It's always got to be funny, so it's having to take these topics which are bleak and see the funny side in them. Right. Whether it's cancer, got a trilogy written about my brother, their experiences and his experience of dying of cancer, and it's got to have the touch of humour in that, because that's the way he was right to the end as well. You had to laugh about it. My mother was the same when she died of cancer, and we tried to keep the cheery atmosphere up all the time. A strange story, again, about my brother was near the end. He'd been near the end for about 4 years because he'd been told he had 6 weeks to live. They did a Whipple operation which entails taking out quite a lot of his stomach, and that meant he survived. But his life had changed, and he changed from then on, and he became, dare I say it, a good guy. He became a sort of people person, tried to help and what have you. It was late on, so he had the diamorphine pump, and he was at home. He also had Sevrodol morphine pills to take as breakthroughs if the pain got too much. And my brother, being that way inclined, that he had a low pain threshold, so he was prone to taking maybe too many of the Sevrodols, which would then lead to overdose, and then lead to him floating off his dying the night. And one particular night I got the phone call to go across to where he was living at the time, Alloa. That's his wife, that's Jerry, on the way out. You have to come across as quick as possible. He's only got a couple of hours left. I went away across it, and he's lying there, weak breathing, dying. My cousin was there, who was also looked after my mother at the time very well, and she's saying, Jerry was asking for a priest. I thought, Jerry wasn't asking for a priest. Jerry's not interested. Jerry admitted he's going to the big fire, right? He's no going to a priest. He's like, oh, he was asking for a priest. I was like, right, I'll try and get him a priest. So this is at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm Googling the nearest chapel. I'm on Google, right, there's one round the corner, because it's in I don't know. I've got the number. I've phoned. The grumpy priest answers it. Aye, what is it this time of night? Hello there, Father. I'm phoning up about my brother. I'm trying to get him the last rites. You don't even get the last rites anymore. I was like, I knew that's the anointment of the sick. Oh, sorry, Father. He's like, well, can you not wait till the morning? I was like, well, he's only got a couple of hours left. He's like, he started moaning at me. Right, and I thought, God's sake, Jerry probably doesn't even want a priest. And here Elaine's got me phoning a priest, and the priest moaning at me. I thought, I'm not putting up with this. But anyway, if you can make it, Father, their address is such and such. And I told him addressing. It was a well-to-do area he stayed in. And the priest, you could hear the tone in his voice change. Oh, I know where that is. That's just behind the Morrisons. That's the new. It's like, yes, Father, that's exactly where I am. It's like, I'll tell you what, I'll make my way down there as quick as possible. It'll be about 20 minutes. I'm thinking, see the change there, right? When he heard my Glaswegian sort of schemy voice at first, then I told him the address, and it's a well-to-do address, and he's, oh, I'll be there 20 minutes. So he comes down, and we have this surreal thing, and my cousin's a theatre, like, that's the priest coming, and Deirdre and my brother who stayed in the house, they weren't really religious. Elaine's running about, she's got a rosary beads out there, she's down her knees, the priest comes, he does the whole anointment of the sick thing, and we're down there saying we're our fathers and we're Hail Marys. The priest goes, I slip him a wee envelope, right, with a score in it, for thanks for having a wee letter, thanks for coming, Father, and that. My mother would be really proud of doing that, and sorry, if you need me again, son, just call, right? But this time he's very good. So now he leaves, and we're sitting there, and we're just waiting on Jerry to die. But 2 hours later, my brother wakes up, sits up, and says, can you help me in to go for a pee? I'm looking at him, I take him in and help him to do a pee and that. He's like, what time is it? I was like, it's about 6 o'clock at night. I was like, no, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck's all the people doing in there? It's like, you're meant to be dying. In fact, you're meant to be dead. It's like, what do you mean I'm meant to be dead? It's like, well, for the priest. The priest? How do you get a priest? It's like, Elaine says you wanted a priest. It's like, why do I want a priest? I don't want a priest. I was like, well, you owe me 20 quid, I paid for your priest. He's like, you what? You paid them 20 quid? I was like, no, you're not even dead. You better not be more sins. Your soul is cleansed now. Get back in there and lie down on that couch. And that's him. He's actually come out the overdose. There was wearing off. His blood was toxic, and he's come back round. Man's asked for a cup of tea, and he's sitting up. There's a turning point as well. When I heard this song, I thought, this is a beautiful song. And in 2003, once I said I'd start doing the writing course, I also went away and did a couple of courses. I did a course at Glasgow Uni to teach English to asylum seekers and refugees. I did another course to teach literacy to adults, kids, about the West of Scotland. The reason I did this, because these are the people that I seen that I could help. I had this education behind me. Alright, I'd been led an alternative lifestyle for the last few years, which took me down another path. But I wanted to rather go back to the job of helping people make money. I wanted to help people, and I identified these groups, the literacy people, because they couldn't even read, they couldn't write. That was a big barrier. They couldn't fill in an application form to go for a job. We've got the asylum seekers and refugees are coming here from other countries, and of course people were saying, oh, too much immigration. Well, my own family's a bunch of immigrants, and the experience that the asylum seekers are coming now from Afghanistan and Iran, people I worked from, in a way it's similar to what the Irish immigrants came over 100 years earlier and were told, they're different from us and they're not as good and all this and all the same barriers. They're all stuck in the worst housing that there is about. They've got no hope, no jobs, some of them can't even get any money at all, and I thought, I'm in there. That's who I want to help, to give them the sort of skills to get them into community, because these people are all socially excluded for that reason. And after being socially excluded myself for a period, I thought that's the biggest thing. You want people to be able to be involved in what's actually happening. And once I started doing that, and the buzz of helping people learn skills to help themselves, that helped me no end, because it made me feel I'm not as worthless as what I thought I was during the darkest periods of binges and what have you. I have got something to give, and for that period on, it's been an upward sort of trajectory. That was, would hit rock bottom in 2003. It kind of gives me itchy palms sometimes thinking back about it. I think, what's Jesus? What are you doing? But that was the way the life was. It was also the life that my brothers was as well. That's what brought us closer together. We'd never been that close, but cocaine was the bond that brought me and him closer together and sort of fucked everything else up everywhere else, that brought us together. And for that, I don't hold any grudges. I don't look back on it. Things have happened, my mistakes. It's happened, can't change it. It's like the AA serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, etc., which was always in my house because my dad was in the AA for the last 8 years of his life before he died. And I thought, you know what, so I'm going to use the words. It's ironic that that's the prayer that carries me through the sort of whole one day at a time thing. And so it was the helping other people, and it was as if I'd opened the curtains and thought, there's a world out there, I want to be part of it, I can do something here. And the song that I think now epitomises that for me, and when I hear it, it reminds me of, it just fills me with hope, right? And it's Elbow, One Day Like This.
That was Elbow, One Day Like This. So what does the future hold for you?
After going on about how my family died young, I hope I've got a future. I joke about everything, right? And as young, I think, oh God, I need to squeeze everything in. I've only got a year left, or maybe 40, I've maybe got a couple of years now, squeeze me in. But I hope I've got a future. And now that I'm back into the writing, I'm kind of taking it a lot more serious this time. And I've got a body of work floating about in cyberspace and on short story anthologies here and there. My plan is to get all them together and release my own anthology of short stories in time. The immediate future is the Celtic Anthology project. It's because after reading Rogan's the story about Moravchik, and I thought, this is what I want to read. I'm not interested in Safeco or Rangers or as much as I like reading about the drama, the twists and turns and that, but this is what I want to read rather than who's playing for the team on Saturday. Right? And then recently, Tearing at Oggs, Paddy's Ashes story, which I read, and I thought, there's people out there that are writing stories about Celtic that could be pure fact, pure fiction, a mixture of both is always what seems to work the best. And I thought, right, I need to find more of them, and I've stumbled across another few since then, and I've kind of lost track of where they were. So when it came up about the 125 for 125 charity, I thought, I'm not climbing Ben Nevis, I'm a lazy bugger, right? But what can we do? We can get a body of work together. These people have already got an audience anyway, right? Lorenzo as well, who his poems to get in. I was thinking we'll just self-publish a wee book, get it on Kindle, Amazon, whatever, sell it, and just put everything into the charity fund. So getting Lorenzo and Rogan involved to give me a hand. And if one person buys it, it'll be a success, right? And I'll buy it, so I'll be that one person, right? If one person that's not involved in the project buys it, it'll be a success. And I'm hoping to get that many people involved in it, whether it's just a wee poem here and there, that even if the people involved in it are the only ones that buy it, we'll still at least raise something. And I'd like it to go towards what it was all about at the beginning, right? Lots of my time was spent in the dark years, what have you, in the East End of Glasgow. My brother stayed there for a spell as well, and I've known basically a lot of poverty throughout my life. But Dad didn't work for a number of years. We've never really had anything, and it's again going back to the immigrants that are coming over here, and a lot of them are in the north, and it's Glasgow. And I think these are the people that I would like to help, because that's what Celtic was all about. It was to help people integrate into society. And here we've got poor people in the east end of Glasgow now with no jobs and going to food banks to get food, and then we've got the immigrants coming over from other countries and they're in a worse state. This is the sort of people that Celtic Football Club was set up to help. It doesn't matter that they're not the same religion as what I am or what the founders were, but it's not about the religion, it's about the people. It's always about the people. It doesn't matter about colour, creed, religion, sex, anything. If there's somebody needing some help there, then we should be doing what we can, and this project is for that. And after that, then I'll go on and do my own stuff.
Your penultimate song.
This song I find quite funny. Again, it was a band put on to me by my son, and as soon as I heard them I thought, I like these. They're English, but they're singing in a sort of regional accent, or have you, and they sing about sort of street life things again. And this particular song, it could be a perfect metaphor for the whole Celtic Rangers thing. Because Celtic Rangers, there's lots of new supporters there, and it's just all about the football. But to me, it's not just all about the football. It's about a whole tribal thing. I don't care what they call themselves, old or new. I don't even care whether they're called Rangers. As far as I'm concerned, I'm part of a group of people, and we support Celtic, and Celtic is our team because they represent what we stand for. And some Celtic supporters now don't like to see what our roots were, and don't like that. They say it's just about the football, but it's no. They're representing a people, right? And Rangers are also representing a people. So it doesn't matter how many times Rangers die, there's always going to be enough people with this other group of people that are going to put something up there as their champion. And whether they're about to call it Timbuktu, I couldn't care. That will be who I want to beat. Because the sheer scale of the numbers they've got, we will always be the two biggest clubs when it balances out. At the moment, they're in a terrible state. But in the bigger picture, over there, unless they all chuck football on the gar, there's always going to be the second biggest or the biggest, whatever, we'll no quibble about, supported club, and that means we will always be the two biggest clubs. So, and even though my golden era football was the early 80s when Rangers weren't even there, right? It was Aberdeen, Dundee United and then Hearts in that 86 season, but you still needed to beat them, because I don't really know any Hibs, Aberdeen supporters or Hearts supporters, but I know lots of Rangers supporters, and they're the people that you mingle with every day, and they're the people like during their 9 in a row era, it was painful. So it doesn't matter what they call their next team, because we're going to go on to Safeco Mark 3 or whatever. It's whoever these people put up as their team, that's who's got to be who I want to beat, and it's the tribal thing about it, right? So when we look at them and they look at us as being different, and really, although there's extremities and extremities are different, masties are all the same, right? I've grown up, my mates are Celtic and Rangers supporters. One of my best mates is called Orange, right? And of course I could never go to a game with him, and he's been going since his first Jock Wallace era, right? He's a season ticket holder. I met him this year. I asked him, you still got a season ticket? They were that cheap this year, I bought 2. And funnily enough, coming home from Paul Larkin's book launch the other week, and we've met his son on the train, and I was saying to his son, because we're all drunk, it's like, your dad, wee Orange, I like that. I love him, but still like a brother. He was my best pal growing up. We couldn't go to the football together, but I respect him because he's true to his beliefs. He's just a football man, and he just, everything today, Rangers is his life. So this song then reminds me of how we view each other, and it's like two tribes, right? But the song is Arctic Monkeys, A Certain Romance.
That was the Arctic Monkeys and A Certain Romance. Right, we've come to the part of the programme where I give you the complete works of the dandy and a copy of the Bible to take with you to your island. Would you like a copy of the Bible?
Definitely, I've got a copy of the Bible that I bought and read most of. I got a bit lost, but I read most of the start of it, then went through to Ecclesiastes and the Solomon, and then read the whole New Testament. And I thought, after I came through, I thought, that God saved me for something, I should be dead. As if to say, no, you're not getting out of that easy, get up, you're away. I used to be going, oh God man, what, where am I? Oh right, yeah, that's where I'm, right, and then straight back on it again. But so I thought, I'm going to buy the Bible. So I bought the Bible and I read as much as I could. And I do go to chapel now and again. We work through a job and go to church as well. I'm a firm believer in faith. I hate to see everybody fighting our religion when it's all the one God, right? And I wrote a comical piece about that as well, about God being up in heaven and and Jesus is there, and they're talking about the sheer pointlessness of, what the what's going on with you people down there, you know what I mean? Get Muhammad here, God's sake. Get him in here, right? So I want to word with him. Right? And there's a great book, there's one of my favourite writers is John Niven. He's got a few great books, and one of the ones is The Second Coming. And the Jesus and God in that book is my God and my Jesus. That's how I want God to be like. None of your Texas Bible Belt in America, fire and brimstone. No. Jesus pops into the story the first time. He's sitting playing a few chords with Jimi Hendrix. They've been smoking some right good Sensimilla, and it comes out he's no stoned, he's no wasted, he's no all these different words for being stoned, and it comes out and it's the first time I'd seen this word used in a book, and I cheered. All these things are saying what he isn't, and this word summed it up. Jesus was cunted, right? Right. And all the Bible, that book, get that banned. But to me, I'd just spent a few years travelling about parties and all that as well, and that was just an expression to use when somebody's right out their face, right? So I don't know, appreciate that's quite controversial you cannot, that's black. Going back to Life of Brian, I'll be getting stoned, literally. Blasphemer. So I would take the Bible gladly.
What other book would you take and why?
It's the collected stories of Raymond Carver. It's got his complete works in it. I paid about £28 for it. Amazon keep emailing me asking me to buy it back after them. I'm thinking, no, I'm not getting it. And the thing about that is he's writing about a different era from where I came from, but it reminds, it's his writing style, it's kind of sparing prose, and it's sort of what he's not saying, right? But you're picking it up and you're thinking, that's a bloody shame, whatever, and it's grim reading. But it takes me back, I picture it when I'm reading it, what my parents' life must have been like even before I was born. There's a lot of drinking culture in it, and going back to the 60s, early 70s, and I think it reminds me a wee bit of some of the parties I was at.
Right, you're allowed a luxury, which can't be a human being or a telephone.
Could I take the Doug?
Yeah, I'll let you take it.
I'm there with my Ray Carver book, a Bible and the Doug to take a wee walk and throw sticks.
Right, your last song.
I've on had a tape of this band, so many times we would spend many an hour in either her bedroom in her mum's house or at me, and this tape would get played over and over again. And to most people you would think, my God, that would enough to drive you, but when you're that falling in love and through that period of I'm in love here, and at the time Yvonne was my whole life, because we seen each other at school, going to school, coming back from school, then we'd used to sit on the phone. We stayed about 400 yards away from each other. We'd be up the road. Did you get home safely? Aye, I got home safely too. On time, you hundreds to say my mum would go in, Gaff, that is no 6 o'clock yet, Gaff, that, don't like your dad, can't you on that? My mum wanted me to marry Yvonne, what have you. That wasn't to be, and as my mother used to say, things happen for a reason, and etc, etc. And of course, if we didn't part, then she wouldn't have her daughter, and I wouldn't have my daughter and son as well. But in recent years, we've kind of got back in touch, got back together, we live together, we get engaged this year, 1st of January. I'm thinking for the first time in a long time in my life, I'm settled and really happy. I've been through the doom and gloom of losing family members from 2007 right through to 2011. Death and cancer dominated my family. My mother having it too, she died. My brother was already no well. He got told a week after the funeral that he had 6 weeks to live, but they saved his life. But he's been no well ever since then until he died. Right up until then, that's what dominated everything. Now that that's out the way, Yvonne's brought in such happiness. So this song not only takes me back to that first era of being in love, it couldn't be more apt, the words for it, for just now. And that song, for me and Yvonne, it means a lot to us, and it's Dr. Hook, If Not You.
Kevin McCallum, thank you very much for being a Desert Island Tim.
Thank you, Billy. It's been a rather cathartic experience sitting in this chair, but enjoyable, because I don't mind talking about the doom and gloom of the past, and I think it's helped me become the person I am now, because nothing really upsets me.